Hi guys, so today is day 4 from our run of 365 days challenge, and today I want to talk about something really interesting, which is routines. Routine is something everybody should have for every different regular process they do. I'll tell you a very interesting insight from my life, which I feel like routines have completely helped me do. So I feel like I have this entire problem with sleep. So I, whenever I want to sleep, I find it really hard to fall asleep these days. Uh, Whenever I don't do this routine, but even when I was a child, I used to like wake up in the middle of the night for a few different things and stuff. So I found it like hard to fall asleep. So that at that time, my grandma used to keep this thing called vibhuti in my forehead, and I used to sleep off because I used to have nightmares and all that stuff. But then I started to follow this routine where every day before I go to sleep, I wet my face, I say my prayers, I say gratitude, and I just go. These days I watch reels or YouTube shorts and I just sleep off like a baby. I'm just knocked out. So this is a routine that I've been following for almost 5 to 6 years now. And after I've started to follow this routine, wherever I go on earth, whenever I have a problem with sleep, I just do this routine and it's just sorted. And just fall asleep as a baby, unless my brain is like extremely hyper stimulated that day. So this is the point. And this routine has stuck with me for so long because it's so simple. And this routine is something that sets your brain into the state of mind to perform a certain activity. So another example is during my 10th board exam, but I used to have this problem of distractions and procrastination. So what I used to do was I used to listen to the same three songs which added up to some 13 minutes 13 seconds or 13 minutes 14 seconds. In the 13 minute 13 or 14 seconds when the song was playing, that same audio used to play every day. And before the song ended, I used to just write down everything I had to do in that study session for 2.5 hours or 3 hours. And I forced myself into this activity for like 2 to 3 weeks. After that 3 weeks, whenever I hear the three songs in that same order, I just write down shit and just get my work done. And funnily enough, when I was traveling a few weeks back, that same three songs playing that same order like it used to when I was in board exam, because my Amazon Music had the odds. And after that happened, my brain just immediately went into some study mode, and I couldn't like enjoy the trip also. So I had to like study like some dogs I had researched upon before the trip to cool off my mind. Okay, bro, sure, your routine is done. Just switch off. So this is a very interesting thing with routine. If you have a very simple routine before a task that you usually procrastinate, or a task you want to get done to set a path for your day, for example, a morning routine, if you get this routine in order, it sets up a great trend that it sets a, this trigger in your mind that okay, when this thing happens, I have to dial down and get this activity done. And this routine is something that people have been doing for a really, really long time unconsciously too. You just think about your life. You probably have this thing that you have been doing every time before you study, or every time before you sleep, or every time before you after you wake up. You have this standard thing you have been doing for a really long time. That is a routine, and routine builds up over time. So once you build that routine, it sticks with you forever, unless you practice your brain to not do that stuff. So I'm guilty of this, where I had this routine where if I'm always on my desk, which is this, and I have my monitor, I have to study. So it worked out for, I have to do something productive. That's what it worked out for like 2 3 weeks. Then I started watching YouTube. I just started slacking, and I just left my willpower through on the table, and I just started to procrastinate. Another a great example is that they say don't eat on your bed, because you're you eat when you're the most like awake. You eat when you're most awake, when you're most conscious. And when you eat on your bed, you're trained that whenever you sit on the bed, you eat. You're trained that in the bed, it's not a place for sleep, it's a place for eating, it's a place for being active and conscious. So that's why people can't sleep. They do all these activities in their bed, they work on their bed, they do stuff. Your brain completely takes the wrong trigger, and whenever you're on bed, you can't even sleep. That's the problem most people face. That's why they say keep your workroom and bedroom different, but for most Indians, it's generally not possible. But try to work in a place that's not a place where you sleep or you eat. So whenever you're in that place, you have to work, or you have to, let's say, eat, or you have to sleep. So when you partition these places, it sets up a routine in your brain, and your brain gets tuned to doing this. So I think that's how you should take routines. I feel like this is a very decent video from the videos I've posted, but I feel like this is also a very important thing that I have tried for a really long time to set in trend. I'm trying to set up a morning routine that is simple enough that I can do it anywhere in the world, and it just sets my morning to the right path. And I'm shooting this video really late, and don't mind my hair because I just had a hair wash. So thanks for watching this video. Tomorrow's video, I bet it's gonna be insane because I have some more content to talk about. But for then, bye bye.